Greetings and woohoo, everyone, to an All You Can Geek Moviecast episode 642. I'm one of your hosts, Jim Gass, joined by Mike Sneedy,
What's up?
Corey Feinsod.
Let's go.
I've been saying that all week, and Tony Korkanakis.
Peaches, 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 peaches,
Peaches.
peaches.
We're live. We're live.
The President's United States of America band is getting any love this with their song too.
Maybe,
Like people are
maybe.
looking for something and like, oh, what's this other thing?
Yeah. We are live streaming on Twitch, guys. I just got the notification on my end, so we are live and it's going. So welcome if you're joining us live. If not, we're on YouTube the following days. Make sure you subscribe to the channel so you get notified when we go live or when we post these episodes. But yeah, as we mentioned, it's a super week. It's a super weekend. How about that?
For the box office, it was.
For the box office, it was.
Well,
yeah.
for one particular movie at the box office.
One particular, yeah. So guys, Super Mario Brothers came out, and yeah, I would say it did pretty good, right?
I mean, yeah, just a little bit, just a little over expectations.
Yeah, I
Just
mean,
crushing records, like they're
yeah.
nothing.
I gotta say, like, I didn't think it was gonna do as well as it did, but I think I did predict a $1 billion movie for this. If I did bold predictions, I think we both did. Tony. I think we matched that in bold predictions. But
Not that I thought it was kind of obvious. I don't know if that's bold. Like I feel like if Minions is making $1 billion,
A billion?
yeah, if Minions is making that, how can Mario not do better than Minions?
I believe
Tell
I
me
said,
that. How is Mario not going to do better than Minions?
but I think I did top 5 grossing of the year. I think I did that. That's bold.
Well, I would hope it would be top 5 is making $1 billion.
Oh my God! Now you're downplaying my prediction, Corey. What are you
I
doing,
downplayed
man?
it on the bold predictions, I think.
Whatever.
I mean,
It's-
even if so, like the projections for over
they
like
can
six
be.
6 weeks out was only 100 million opening weekend, and it did double that. I mean, that's insane.
Yeah. No, I thought it was going to be bigger, and I was like, oh, wow, it's not doing as well. And then here we are. But at the same time, like, it could peter out. You never know.
I mean,
Like,
Sonic.
whatever.
Sonic only got what, 500 million. Pokemon only did 400 million. So I mean,
Mhm.
success in the video game industry isn't necessarily translate to box office success.
But like I had said,
Oh,
I had said the last
agree,
few
but I'm
weeks.
just I was just basing off of Minions, same studio, and then you're taking an IP that's bigger than the Minions.
No, I get it. But I mean, so many things could have gone wrong with this, and especially when
Yeah,
we first
no, I
got the
agree.
critic reviews.
And
I mean,
and obviously the post-COVID world we live in is
Yeah.
gonna definitely like if this was pre-COVID, we're talking like 1.5 probably.
yeah.
Like
Yeah.
that's where I'm thinking. That's my mind's at. Like,
Nope.
but in any case, I do think it's gonna still be tough to get there. I don't think it's gonna be a cakewalk. I just think it's like if we're talking Minions is getting there post-COVID, close to it. How can Mario not do better?
Yeah, I mean, it's
Even
gonna
if,
do.
and again, we can ignore reviews. Like reviews do not matter for this type of movie.
No.
It's a worldwide appeal too. I mean, it really is. It's more. He's universally.
Yeah, it still has to
known,
open
so.
up in a lot of
Yeah.
main markets, including Japan, which could be 50,
Yes.
could be 100 million, maybe even 200 million. We don't know.
Who
Yeah.
knows? Yeah.
Unprecedented.
It should be crazy, but who knows? You never know with the market over there.
Yeah.
But I just
But again, I mean, you cannot take anything away from record-breaking box office stuff. Like,
No.
what do we got? What records have been smashed?
well, it's what did it do over the
Or
weekend last week?
squashed.
It's at 166 already, but over the weekend it did 146, I think, right? I believe. Yeah. So I don't know. I have to open the article for the exact records that were squashed. I don't have that open at the hand.
Why don't
Sorry,
you have this
buddy.
open?
My
Why
fault,
don't
because
you have this
yeah,
open?
it's not like we were just chatting about it for the last 10 minutes. Yeah, so record opening, 377 plus worldwide. What did it reach total? That's 5-day US record, at 204 million plus, and wow, 20 million on Sunday. Yeah, it did amazing on the weekend. So
Yeah, it's awesome.
146.36 3-day. It did 204.6 over the 5-day for the US. That's domestic, and then worldwide, I thought it broke 400 worldwide, but I maybe a little bit
368.
explaining that. Oh, 368. I'm sorry, 368. So the as we mentioned before, this movie the billion is locked in my opinion. It's locked. So it would have to have horrible legs to not make this, and it deserves it too. Oops, and I knocked my headphones out just like that. Um, so yeah, and yeah, hang on here. Um, yeah, so I don't know. It's an impressive movie. It is. Um, I enjoyed it. I mean, I brought my 10-year-old my stepdaughter to it, uh, who didn't like wasn't like super psyched. She's not a big Mario fan. Like she doesn't know Mario too well. Um, but I gotta say, like she left and she's like she goes the old it was okay, but then she's asked me like a billion times when the sequel's coming out. Like yeah, she's like yeah. So excuse me for a drink break. Sorry everybody, parched. Yeah, it was impressive. It was impressive and impressive numbers, and it's fun. Like we're gonna do a spoiler cast, and I think Tony and myself, just us, because Corey, you didn't get to see it yet, right?
No, we're going to see it on Sunday, and I was like, I'm not gonna go see it twice in the theater, unfortunately. I didn't get,
Yeah.
and plus I didn't have time to go out to the theater anyway, so.
Yeah. Um. Yeah. So
Yeah, no, I mean definitely I'm curious to hear it tonight. What you
Yeah.
guys
I
say.
might see it because Ashley is interested.
Oh, there you go. Get it.
Tony,
I we have to figure it out though because child
Mhm.
stuff.
Mm.
Tony, our stream's a little bit small, just so you know, on the image.
What do you mean small?
It's small imaged. I can see Mike sort of. It looks like you shifted the image on us.
Looks like this. We can all post it in
There we
our
go. He's
private.
got it now. He's got it now. So,
Fixed.
yep. Anyways, so yeah, it was a lot of fun, the movie for me. Like I said, we're gonna do a thanks,
Yeah,
Churro. Yeah,
full-on
Churro.
spoiler.
I was trying to get Tony's attention a little bit, but yeah, we fixed it. Sorry about that, Churro. And thanks for joining us, by the way. So we had we'll do a full-on spoiler cast, just Tony and myself chatting about it after this is all done today. We'll do three. As long as you're good with that, Tony.
I mean, I don't really care. That's fine. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we'll chat
It
about it.
won't take
You
too
know?
long. It's not like a
No.
long movie.
So, but yeah, what did you think of it?
I thought it was good. I mean, if you're going into it expecting some plot or anything, like it's certainly not like.
Plot.
I mean, that's what it is. I mean, you're not expecting I wasn't expecting anything like Pixar level of depth, where it's like there's some grand message or theme or anything like that. It's kind of like, all right, well these are the characters and they're just gonna do a little show for you and stuff like that and just have fun. And with that mindset, it's great when you have characters and locales and music that you've been accustomed to for 40 years. I mean, it's a nostalgia trip in a good way. It's not like just like, oh hey, look, remember this thing, right? This is Mario's lightsaber. Like, oh wow, that's so cool, and he's gonna throw it over. It's nothing like that. It's just kind of like in the background. There's some stuff that is obvious, and there's other stuff that is way less obvious. And I think it goes from all ages, from the different games that they do cover. It's not just one specific. It's not like Super Mario Brothers 1 and like that's it. There's no other references. It really does the whole gamut of Brothers to Mario Kart, Donkey Kong Country, and so on and so forth. Even Mario Galaxy. I think there was even a track from Bowser's Fury from 3D World on the Switch port, which is pretty crazy to think about and stuff like that. And yeah, the same thing with all the power-ups and music. I mean, the weakest things to me were actually Chris Pratt's voice didn't bother me once you kind of like listen to him for a few minutes. It kind of like
Melded into it. Yeah.
adjusted. But Cranky Kong's voice was awful. I forgot who did it, but it was the worst voice. I was like, this is just bad. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know if it's.
Oh, we gotta look that up now and see who to blame.
I mean, it's a
I know who it
recognizable
is.
voice.
It's a recognizable
yeah,
voice, and like I think they're a good actor.
Like everyone.
I just assume it's a bad direction or something like that. But it just took me personally out of that. And then
sometimes when you get a well-known actor, it doesn't translate to voice roles. It just doesn't.
Yeah, like actually, again, I didn't care for Seth Rogen. Like every time Donkey Kong's talking, I'm just like, it's Seth Rogen, and like I just picture him from fucking what's the movie? One of his first
Pineapple
ones.
Express or something.
Yeah, that or
Everything he does. Everything he does.
you know,
Is he in that
knocked
one?
up. Yeah, it's knocked up.
even
Where
know.
it's like it's just him.
I just couldn't stop thinking of like his Sausage Fest movie, which is animated, and he does the main character's voice, and this is animated, and I'm like, I just can't. But Donkey Kong's character was great.
Yeah, his character was great. And the other thing that did bother me was the licensed music wasn't as bad as I thought, but still, like, it just took me out of it. Like, again,
I thought they blended that okay.
It was
I really
okay.
did think that
it was okay. I just could have done without it. Like, it's just again, you have 40 years of soundtracks of Mario games, which has no shortage of like hyped up battle, whatever music you want to talk about. But like, you're gonna play what? I Need a Hero? Like, I don't need to hear that. Or what was one of the other ones they played during the?
I can't remember the other ones they used. But I was like, I was kind of shocked to hear them include those because you do have the original music in this movie, but I thought they mixed it okay.
Is there a jump up superstar section of this movie? Do they play that song?
No.
No. But they, I will say that they, I don't know. I think they did a great job with having a ton of cameos, but making it fun, not over the top. Like, okay, this is just too much happening right now. I just going, and I'm just gonna say this. I'll talk about this more on the spoiler cast. But if you want to go just Sonic 1 to Mario Brothers, the Super Mario Brothers movie, there was gripes with each one, right? I mean, they were just overall both fun movies, and that's what made Sonic successful to get a sequel, and that's what this is going to do, obviously, to get it a sequel. It's not perfect. It doesn't have much of a plot, but it works. Like, it's fun. Like, that's the idea, and that's what Sonic gave us. You know what I'm saying? Like, that it may not have been that strong of a story, but it was fun. And I would argue Sonic 2 is probably more fun than worse. But it still worked. So I don't know. I just feel like this was a good launching point for Nintendo stuff.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, again, it's like the fish out of water thing, except, in Sonic you had Sonic that was, in our world, and, you have Mario that, I guess is in some animated version of our world, gets sucked to the, Mushroom Kingdom / wherever the greater, I don't know what world they call it over there. What was that? So, I mean, you kind of expect, again, the whole, like, Mario's going to be, sticking out and learning about, why he eats a mushroom and grows big or something like that. And it's just like, okay, like, but they don't spend too much time on it, and that's fine, because I don't need, like, a deep explanation on why a mushroom is going to make him, ginormous and stuff like that. I do think it was a little too short at 90 minutes. It's the exact opposite of John Wick. I just wish there was like 20 minutes more, because there are moments in the story that you're like, okay, wow, like this could be deep or meaningful or whatever. And right when you expect like a little lull in the conversation, and then they would talk about, like, you would expect like, oh, and then they're going to go into their like history or past or motivation or something like that. It's just next scene, and you're just like, wait, what? Like, okay. And there's one thing that was like completely new with lore from one of the main characters. I'm just like, oh, that's interesting. That was never covered in any of the video games at all. So that was like, I want to hear about this, and just nothing. And it's like, oh, well, I guess that's for the sequel. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe. I just felt like they tried to do probably too much for this movie, because it's a kids movie overall. You had to keep that hour and a half. Like, you could go maybe hour 45, but hour and a half is the magic number there. But I feel like I didn't even know what they did too much of, except for maybe they could have not done the Kongs, and then they could have done something other to kind of get us more story that we weren't getting from the other parts.
I just think another 15-20 would have been fine. You could flesh out, the handful of scenes that are.
You're not wrong. I know why they aim for that hour and a half. I know why.
Is it? I mean, what's stuff like Frozen and Incredibles and stuff at? Those are only 90 minutes?
I think most are.
Right.
I think you might. I don't know.
I think they could get to 2 hours and be all right with it.
You might be
Depends
right.
on the films, but yeah, I would say like if it's a sequel, I think the sequel has a better chance of doing being longer. But
it was an hour.
You can fit.
Hour and how long?
Hour and 48 for Frozen.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah. You could have pulled that.
Yeah,
you
can get a little bit longer. So.
Yeah,
but you can also get like a solid movie in 90. It all depends. It's like, I think the thing with the trailers, you don't really have no idea what the movie's plot is from the trailers. You just see like all these great like characters that you recognize, and you're like, oh, cool! I can't wait to see what what's gonna happen in this movie. But at the same time, you're not going to a Mario movie because you want a deep, engaging story, and so like sounds like it's giving everybody what they're expecting, which is
Yep.
part of I think the criticisms and with the critics maybe is that like oh like there could have been more to this because they like it. It's like you like something so much you want more, and they're not giving you that more now. You just have to wait for it later, and it's like
It's weird because so like the
it
cinema
feels-
score is an A, which is the second highest rating you can get, and clearly
Mm-hmm.
with the numbers it did over the weekend, the audience is pretty happy
Right.
with the movie. So I mean, I don't know. Again, I don't know why this is the movie that spurs this whole like critic versus non-critic discussion. Like out of all the fucking movies we could have talked about in the past 10 years, like this is the one that's like, yep, we got to have this
I mean,
conversation.
talk about it all the time when it comes to the Oscars. I mean, there are movies that are specifically made just because they know it's Oscar
Yeah,
worthy,
it's Oscar
not like they're
bait.
not gonna make any
Oh.
money from it. It's like
I
nobody
also
cares about it
think-
commercially.
In the last 10 years, if you want to say 10 years, the critics have warmed up and appreciated superhero movies for the most part. They've been scoring them higher since, it's become the standard, I think.
Marvel movies have scored higher. DC movies haven't.
Well, depends on which critic you ask, but because some of them score the same, but whatever.
Yeah.
Well,
It's
I mean,
true.
I think they also made better movies too. Like Marvel's kind of learned how to make movies a little bit as well. I mean, when they first were making those movies, they were a brand new studio. They just opened up to
Yeah,
Sure,
to make
but-
these movies. So now they kind of learned what they were doing and have
I do
characters to
think-
build on. So
I do think because critics have learned that like geeky stuff adapted can tell good stories, they might expect more from something like this than what they got.
Well, I think that it's going to be
I think
based
it's-
on more.
I just think it has to do with you're having people that the best thing I could say is the analogy I could put is you're taking a bunch of food critics who pride themselves on being able to critique food, and you're taking them to like a new fast food restaurant, and acting surprised when it's like, oh, this isn't like a 4-star steak, it's a fucking cheeseburger and French fries. It's like, well, yeah, we're at a fast food restaurant, man. Like, what do you expect?
I get
No,
that, but it's not like these critics don't know how to, watch kids' movies or other stuff. It's just they
I'm
don't
not saying
like
they
it, whatever.
don't, but I'm saying that like if you have no attachment to the source material, absolutely, you're probably not going to like this movie. But
So
I
then
wouldn't expect movie critics to like this movie.
Oh, if you're
So
not,
then is this all fan service, or
No, because if
what
you're-
makes this not bad fan service? Is what I'm
if you're
wondering.
not a kid and you're not a fan of Mario, you probably won't like. If you're not a big fan of the Mario world, then it's not for you. That's it. You're right. I mean, that's honestly it.
I mean, I could say that of the Sonic and Detective
Sure.
Pikachu movies too. Like, if you're not
mean-
a fan of the source material, you're not going to like these movies.
Most kids will still do it either way. But
Yeah, sure.
if you're an adult, you're,
Yeah,
you're not gonna
absolutely.
like. Yeah, that's it.
Why Sonic Blue? I don't know, guys. Man, why?
Yeah.
Why does Pikachu have Ryan Reynolds' voice? I don't understand this. This is confusing. I got to tweet about this.
So yeah, I don't know. Well, Tony and I can
Those were the
discuss more about
reviews.
this later. So yeah, we'll go into it more later, Tony and I. But let's go into some other stuff here. Like I said, the box office was that essentially. So that's your box office
Domination.
monster. Yeah. Let's go on here. We have there was a Star Wars celebration we're going to get into shortly.
Why was it this? Is it always this month? I thought
No,
they usually
it's
do
early.
it in May.
Well, they were doing something in the UK for this. Was in the UK. And
this
I
is like
thought-
every other year too. I
Yeah.
think.
Yeah. So
Read their date backwards. Is that what happened?
I don't know, but there was a lot of news announced, which I'll get into actually before we go to the other stuff here. So they had the cool thing to start off with, Star Wars Visions Season 2. They showed a trailer for it, and it's coming May 4th. If you remember, Star Wars Visions is the animated, the anime style short stories. For those who were wondering, Season 1 was fantastic. I really enjoyed a lot of those. I'm not saying all of them were
No, not all of them.
prize winners, but most of them were really good. And this looks great from the trailer.
Yeah, it's
This looks
neat to
great.
see different animation studios have their spin on
Yeah.
the Star Wars universe and just kind of what their take would be on what they envisioned Star Wars in that style would be, and so that's what's neat about it.
Right, and this way have a bit more variety. I think it's more global than the first season one. I mean, one of them is clearly like a claymation studio. I forget the name of it, but yeah, it's just showing that Star Wars doesn't need to be bad green screen CGI all the time.
Yeah, exactly.
It can be other bits.
I apologize to Corey and Mike. What else did you guys watch? Anything good this week? I forgot to even ask you guys.
I'm still behind in Mandalorian, but I watched one more episode. The Foundling one, the one with Ahmed Best getting his redemption arc.
Hey, I thought it was a great episode. That one.
It's good. This whole season seems a little disjointed and lacking sort of the urgency of the first two seasons. This is the third season, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's hard to keep track when we had the sort of spin-off stuff with Boba Fett. But it's still good.
I mean, it's still good. It's just I agree with your statement.
It's not great.
I'm still enjoying it. It's just I understand the where's this going thing. So, because the newest episode's the same. I have the same statement to make even after the newest episode. You're like, there's 2 left, and I'm like, where's this going? I don't know, Corey. What about you?
I just got to watch some more Ted Lasso. So
yeah,
so
no,
awesome.
that's fantastic. I just watched. I put it on last night like 10:15, and I'm like, I was gonna go to sleep, and I'm like, I'm just gonna check out the beginning of this. I wanted to see, and then yeah, big mistake. 46 minutes later, I'm like, well, I watched the whole thing because it was so good.
Yep.
So great show. I can't say that enough on this podcast. So yeah. All right. Anyways, back
to Star Wars stuff. Yeah.
Back to the Star Wars stuff.
A lot of news coming out of the Star Wars world. Which, unfortunately, and Tony mentioned too on Discord. If you want to follow us on Discord, send us a message. We'll invite you guys in. You can chat with us there. But it's like hard to get excited about Star Wars stuff. It's like I'm so done with Mandalorian. I haven't watched any of those episodes. Andor, I couldn't get into. Obi-Wan obviously was terrible. Like everything that has been in Star Wars, it's just like. Even with Visions, I'm like, well, at least they're shorts, so it's like they'll be quick. So it's like not so bad. But like I'm so burned on like even with like Ahsoka stuff. Like it looks neat. I'm really excited to see the Rebels characters in live action. I'm not excited though. Like in general, like I'm excited for like a character to see them here once or twice, but I don't know. It's just hard to really get super hyped for these things now. Even like the stuff that like where they're like branching off with like from the Skywalker family stuff, because like they're gonna do a prequel, like the origin of the
first
Force
Jedi.
Stuff.
It's like what? I don't care.
And the other thing is like the thing I hate the most. It's like in the Ahsoka trailers, whatever the tag is like whatever warrior, rebel, whatever, and then it's like Jedi. It's like whoa, like not anymore. Like it's her whole thing. Is she's like turned her back on them. So like what's like going on there?
Yeah.
I mean like everybody is surviving Order 66. What is up with that? Like how many people survived Order 66?
It's the opposite of the prequel where all the Jedi look like punks and got killed by like 2 guys with a blaster.
Yeah,
she wasn't a Jedi, so it's fine. She doesn't need to be taken out. But at the same time, we're popping up, or new Jedis are popping up all over the place.
It's a lot.
It's funny. I'm in a similar boat as well. If we were to rank like what media I care about with Star Wars, it would be video games first, TV show pretty distant second, and actual movies now like a distant third, because I just don't trust that anymore for Star Wars at this point.
It's like I was as a Star Wars fanatic. I mean, obviously on this podcast, we all know this for me. I'm pretty psyched for Ahsoka. I don't care what anybody says. I can't wait.
I don't want to put anything.
August is going to be great.
Stuff.
But I will give Tony credit. Like I'm giving Tony credit here. Like I'm not obviously you're not trying to sway me on your opinions based on what you're saying. But when you made the statement you made, I'm like, I do get what you're saying here. Like in terms of the excitement levels, I get it. You're right. I need to rein it back a little.
I mean, I'm just saying for me personally, it's just
no, because he's right though. But it's been happening over and over again. So it's like
but you can be excited for things that are coming out, Jim. This is coming out. They got dated and stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
Insane. And Ahsoka, we know Ahsoka's your favorite character. Ahsoka's a fantastic character. We love Ahsoka.
Yeah, I love Ahsoka, but
yeah, I mean everybody. Ahsoka's a great character.
It's just the reaction from. from Obi-Wan, because I love Obi-Wan,
Yeah.
and I love Ian McGregor's Obi-Wan, and that show came out, and I thought it was a piece of shit, and I'm like,
Nope.
like, I would have been happier if the show had not existed. Like, I would be happier if the show had not been made, and I rarely ever say something like that. But I took absolutely nothing positive away from that show. And, you know, like, that's a good, you know, again, I don't want to harp on it, but a bad example of fan service is like, wow, this is where Leia gets her blaster holder. Like, who the fuck cares about that? Never once was that ever significant in the original trilogy. So why are you making it out to be this thing that was gifted down to her from another character that you introduced in the series? Nobody fucking gives a shit. It's insignificant. Anyway.
Also, she's like 5 in this show, and then like 10 years later, we're supposed to expect her to be like this rebel, like princess. Oh, come on.
Yeah.
That's why she's got supernatural escaping abilities already at 5. So
but
that's what she does.
So the thing is with the movies, because they announced a bunch of the movie stuff. So real quick, so they have a movie that's supposed to be about the first Jedi.
Some big surprises also,
right? So they have a second movie in the works that's supposed to be about the Mandalorian universe, I guess, with all the characters you met.
Mandoverse.
Yeah, Mandoverse.
That is the thing that's actually getting me, especially with the last episode I saw. There's far more surviving Mandalorians than I felt, to the point where it sort of takes away from their mystique.
And then you have a movie that's going to have Rey 15 years out, I think, from Rise of Skywalker, and about her retrying the Jedi Order again and stuff like that. And I'm just like, okay, on paper that's 3 movies, but you know, when I think about it, like, one of them, it's so set so far in the past. Again, whatever. Okay, that's fine. Do whatever you want. The Mandoverse, okay, it could be cool, you know, whatever. I like Mando, I like Grogu, and the other supporting characters are, you know, good to bad and stuff like that.
And Filoni's done a great job.
Filoni's, yeah, it's done that. And then Rey, I'm just like, it just feels like by the time this is out, like, am I gonna still care? Like, and this is the only one that's moving the plot forward in time. And what I wanted to bring up is that this is what's getting me about Star Wars. It's like you have this span of 9 movies. 9 movies. It takes place over what? We'll just say 50 years? 40, 50 years? Something like that. And we're so concentrated in like the middle, 20 or something like that? Where like all the things, like Clone Wars has happened. Like, you know, all the you know, Disney Plus shows have happened. Like, it's just, we can't get out of that era. And it's just sickening to me. Like, just imagine if...
They are giving you that first Jedi.
Right, but that's so far in the past.
That's like, you know, KOTOR.
I mean, the thing, I know, like, we've complained about this before. It's like, it's so focused on the Skywalker family and the Skywalker, like, legacy, and it's everything about Skywalkers and now Palpatine, whatever.
Yeah.
But, like, based on what they're showing, they're giving you things that are now outside of that too, like with the first Jedi one and with the Mandoverse movie. So you are getting that stuff, and then like even like the Acolyte series.
Does the Mandoverse stuff?
Acolyte sounds great.
The Mandoverse stuff doesn't matter though. It doesn't impact anything.
But I'm saying like that you're getting things that are outside of, you know, that's what we were wanted. That's what we like. We don't want stories of these.
That's half of what I want. That's half of what I want, because I want to move the plot forward. I want to like, again, like whatever. Mando and Grogu, they could fucking save the universe. They could get the you know, whatever for, you know, what is it, the First Order. They could prevent the First Order from taking over, you know, 10 years earlier or something. Like, I don't give a fuck. It's like, okay, we've had this. We've been over this era before. I know what happens. I know the end game. Like, it doesn't matter.
You want something that is not known.
Right. Like, just imagine with, like, the Marvel Cinematic Universe, all right? You have Endgame. Imagine if everything since Endgame was just before Endgame. Like, it's like, we don't know how to carry this plot forward. We're just going to make movies and shows before Endgame.
Like Black Widow.
That's why imagine everything was about Black Widow. It's just like, it's like, wow, this is Black Widow before the blip, and this was Thor before the blip, and this is Captain Marvel before the blip, and this is that. This is like, I don't care. I cannot care. I cannot care.
I don't even know how I'm going to lead to my next question here, because like, Corey, I'll go with you then. How do you feel about them seemingly incorporating Heir to the Empire story?
I hate it.
I knew you'd get it from me like that, but
I hate it. No, I mean, like, I was so excited for Thrawn, like, but I feel like they ruined Thrawn. Like, they ruined him in
Rebels?
In Rebels or whatever they show up in.
I disagree.
Like, they ruined him.
I liked him in that. I disagree.
I feel like once they like rewrote his whole backstory and character in the new, you know,
the books, which I've read.
Yeah, and the books, and then this, like, I mean, I'm just partial to the original Thrawn character and what he was and how it was represented. And then like we have no Mara Jade. Like where's that?
No, but I think we'll have like Ahsoka basically as that role. I
Oh,
do.
that's even worse, man. Come on.
I know, but I think that's what we're getting.
No.
I-
So like I don't agree. I mean, I'm glad they're bringing them in to
Yes.
live action and everything, but
And Lars Mikkelsen,
Mhm.
right, is going to be
yeah,
playing him,
it's
who
awesome.
voiced him in Rebels, which
Voice
is
them, yeah.
yeah.
So that's quick. That's great, but like I'm just really partial to the original this character that is no longer canon.
Yeah.
So it's hard to really root for this version.
Yeah. I
But maybe
understand.
they can
I
redeem them.
understand
Maybe
it,
they
but maybe
can.
they can. Maybe they can. All right. Let's see what else we have. The Marvels trailer. Did you guys check that out today?
Oh,
I saw
don't
it.
they have more shows? Didn't they do some show
Oh,
announcements?
did I skip something? Let me see.
We only talked
Well,
about
we
it.
didn't talk about Acolyte. I mean, that's the one thing I am
Acolyte-
actually excited for.
Acolyte
I did
looks,
not talk about.
yeah.
That
Acolyte
sounded
looks-
really cool with the twins, basically the one's the light side, one's the dark side. That sounds really cool. Do we get a date for that?
I don't think we did.
I don't
So-
remember seeing one. I just know that they're working on it.
Yeah. So hopefully, I mean, that sounds good. That story really does. I
Mhm.
hope that's good. So, and David Filoni got a lot of shit for having an orange lightsaber in his trailers. Did you see that?
I mean, there's been orange lightsabers before, so
That's what his comment was, and everybody's like, "No, it wasn't." And I'm like, sometimes, listen, guys. Sometimes Star Wars guys, you guys, you have to you have to
Sometimes,
relax.
almost.
Okay.
All the time.
Okay, almost. Yes, that's the
I
problem.
ran. I'm not even a Star Wars fan anymore. It's
I know.
fucking stupid,
Yeah.
man.
You gotta relax, guys. So, all right, let's go to Marvel, like we said, with the blip, and pre-Endgame. This is post-Endgame though. Marvel's coming November. Saw the trailer. Looked fun.
Is it
I'm
trailer
sorry,
or is it
looks-
a teaser?
It's a
it's a
teaser.
teaser. It's a
Teaser.
teaser.
Two
Teaser
minutes.
trailer.
I hear there's like distinctions out. It's like this is the teaser.
That's
That seemed like a
stupid.
trailer to me. It's
Teasers
No,
are
teaser-
like 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Come on.
Exactly. This is 2 minutes and 10 seconds long.
I
It's a
agree.
freaking trailer.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So, it looks fun. It looks so fun.
Oh, this
I'm
does
sorry. It
actually.
looks really good.
This does.
Yeah. Like, and I would say I wasn't super hyped for this movie whatsoever, but and I don't know if I'm like through the roof hyped.
No,
on this,
not
but
through
I
the
gotta-
roof, but better
I
than I
gotta
was
say, like-
before. I'm sure.
Exactly. The teaser did a great job.
Yeah, it did its
That's
job.
perfect. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Did its job.
I
Yeah,
liked how.
I liked Macaulay Khan's characters, Miss Marvel. So I'm excited to see what they do in an actual movie here. So that's
Yeah, I like how
exciting
they
to
had her
see.
family in it again too for that
Yes.
part. It was
Mhm.
like,
yeah.
her family's just funny.
Yeah. I mean, they made that show pretty well. So, cool. And then we also have lastly is the merger of Discovery and HBO, just going to be called Max. It's happening in June. So if you're a subscriber, they haven't laid out what's going to happen if you are a subscriber for either one of those. If you don't want to do both,
I
but
think it's
right
one
now
service. Yeah.
it looks like it's going to be one. It's $16 a month. That's what's going to be. So it's $7 a month for Discovery because we do that here in my house. I off and on do HBO Max. I don't know if I want to do $16 a month. That kind of because I'm like for $7
For what
it's fine.
content? You're not even getting content anymore.
That's the thing. Like in Discovery Plus, I like in this household. It's great. I've got a lot of pet lovers here that love to watch the shows. But if you go back since COVID, those shows are off. There's no new content. So it's like for me, the $7, I was like, why are we paying for this? Actually, if we're not really going to be using. I like the network a lot, but I'm like, there's not a lot of new content on Discovery,
No.
and there's less on HBO.
What
know,
shows
they're-
are they even making anymore for HBO? Like
Isn't Barry finishing
Stuff,
up? Right?
stuff
Barry's
that is
finishing up.
canceled.
like
but not
obviously they're
released
doing
yet.
House of Dragons season 2, but
Oh yeah, definitely.
Wow.
Last of Us season 2. But like outside of that, like what are they doing?
Barry's finishing this year. This is the last season. for Barry.
Succession's this year.
Great show, but I'll be watching that one. Succession is ending. Yeah.
And all the
So,
DC
yeah,
stuff was canceled, right?
Mhm. Well,
Yeah, no,
Gotham
it's-
isn't Gotham on there? Still Gotham Knights is still on there.
Well,
I think they
that's
said like
CW.
Gotham Knights is like
That's a
their
CW
third
show.
highest watched show right now.
I think it's a CW show, isn't it? Or it looks like one.
I
Either
don't know.
way.
It's a DC thing, so I thought maybe it was on HBO.
Or probably. I don't know. I watch older stuff, and I'm still waiting on my 2 canceled shows to finish up.
Yeah, and so yeah, those are canceled too. So
Yeah, that canceled.
it's just
Yeah.
weird because we talked about it too. Like they're merging. They're gonna remove HBO. Like
They're
that's
pulling it Max.
It's so weird. You'd think that would be the draw. Like, hey guys, this is HBO stuff. Like HBO sound like you thought HBO hurt. Like you think quality, Sopranos, The Wire. Like what happened?
Yeah.
That did happen.
It's called this went away. Like they don't have any money. They're broke. That you can't make content if you have.
They're broke.
It's the problem. They're
They're
broke.
not doing well.
No, and you can't make content if you don't have that. So, all right, and that's it. I think. Did I miss something on the news? No, that's it. Cool. I think that's all for the Moviecast, folks. Thanks for tuning in. You can write us allyoucangeek@gmail.com. You can follow us on we're on Twitch live streaming Tuesday nights starting at 8 o'clock. And then we're on YouTube the following days. So you subscribe to both channels so you get the latest and greatest. That's going to wrap up the Moviecast. We have the Gamecast coming up and a spoiler cast. Stay tuned. We have them all here. So see you soon. I got to stop the recording.